Alexander Volkanovski has finally spoken out about the huge upcoming fight between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. And let me tell you, Volkanovski didn't hold back. He analyzed the matchup in such detail that fans couldn't help but pay close attention. Volk looked closely at Charles's trademark pressure-heavy style and started raising serious questions. He wondered, what if Ilia ends up on the back foot early in the fight? What happens if Charles comes forward like a storm right from the start? That thought alone has people thinking Ilia might play it safe in the beginning. Maybe he'll let Charles press forward just so he can figure out his timing and rhythm. Still, in the end, Volkanovski leaned toward Ilia getting a knockout. Why? Because Charles Oliveira, as incredible as he is, often moves in straight lines. He doesn't always mix it up defensively, and that's dangerous when you're facing someone like Ilia, sharp, precise, powerful. Volk knows that Ilia can exploit those little mistakes and land something brutal, but Volkanovski didn't stop there. He talked about his own fighting future too. Right now, everyone's expecting him to face Yair Rodriguez in a rematch later this year, but the name that Volk personally believes deserves a title shot? Movsar Evloev. He said it clearly. Movsar is the second best featherweight in the division. Volk acknowledged that the reason Movsar hasn't gotten that title shot is because he doesn't get flashy knockouts. He doesn't end fights in wild ways. But from a skill level and merit standpoint, Volk said Movsar's the real deal. Coming from the champ himself, that's some serious respect. It just shows how quietly, steadily Movsar's been building a strong name for himself in the division.
I've got Ilia. I think just stylistically. And what we've seen, Charles likes to, he's very aggressive, very exciting fight. That's why we all love to watch him. But, if he comes aggressive like that, there's going to be opportunities for Ilia. And Ilia can bang, you know what I mean? If you're going to come forward like that, yeah, you might land yourself. That's always going to be something as well, right? Like Charles could definitely catch him, but yeah, you can be hittable if you come aggressively like that, especially with someone like Ilia who's going to back himself and try and put one on you as you're coming in like that. Especially if you're that little bit out of position. That I wouldn't say his chin's up. He sort of has a sort of guard, but the way he comes forward in a straight line, yeah, I think Ilia can really sit on some shots if that's the case. I know there's going to be knees coming up. Will he be worried about that? Will he want to be defensive first? Ilia, because he knows how aggressive Charles is going to come forward, because we don't know how Ilia is on the back foot.
You think he knocks him out?
I think it's a knockout, yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, let's talk about Tom Aspinall. The internet's been buzzing with rumors that he might be facing Alex Pereira in a super fight. Things really picked up after Chael Sonnen claimed that a UFC matchmaker told him this was the fight to watch out for next. But Tom shut those rumors down fast. In a recent interview, he said Alex Pereira needs to focus on one thing first, reclaiming his light heavyweight title. Specifically, Tom pointed to Pereira's upcoming rematch with Magomed Ankalaev. He made it clear Pereira should win that fight before even dreaming of moving up to heavyweight. What's wild is that Alex Pereira had already said something similar in an earlier interview, before Tom even mentioned it. Pereira was super focused. He said his current goal is beating Ankalaev, hopefully in October, and getting that 205-pound belt back around his waist. Only after that, he said, would he think about going up to heavyweight and maybe fighting Tom Aspinall for that massive champ moment. So yeah, even though the rumors were loud, both fighters are actually on the same page. They know there's unfinished business, but if they both handle what's in front of them first, then we might just see one of the biggest double champ matchups in UFC history. Let's be real here. The UFC needs a blockbuster fight right now. John Jones is still inactive. Conor McGregor is nowhere to be seen. There's no real mega fight on the schedule. A showdown between Pereira and Aspinall could be the spark the UFC desperately needs. If both men win their next fights, that event could absolutely save a pay-per-view card and blow up the end of the year.
It's funny you should say that, because I see in the pictures when I'm like staring at him. Yeah. If you watch me at any event, I'll stand and stare at the flyweights like that.
Really?
Yeah, not because I'm not trying to intimidate them, because I really enjoy studying people's psychology before the fight. But I don't know, he's got business to do at light heavy, you know what I mean? He's just lost his title in a tough fight. I think that Ankalaev remains to be a really tough matchup for him. Let's see if he gets through the next one, because in my opinion, Magomed Ankalaev doesn't get enough respect. Like, the guy has run through everybody and he just beat a long-standing champion, and he should be given respect in his own right for being a champion. And I think that it's a tough fight for Alex. It's definitely a fight that Alex can win. We've seen him, how powerful he is and stuff. But I think as far as his move up to heavyweight, I'm only speaking if I was in his position, I'd want to get that one back first.
Now here's where things get even more intense. Just one day before UFC 317, a vlog posted by Georgian influencer Vato Gugushvili, who's closely connected to Morab Dvalishvili, set social media on fire. The video spread like wildfire across Georgian media. The vlog showed Vato and UFC bantamweight champion Morab visiting fellow Georgian fighter Ilia Topuria at his training camp. In the video, you can see Ilia and Morab greet each other warmly, smiling and hugging. But something subtle happened. A short exchange between them wasn't meant to be caught, but sharp Georgian fans heard it. The audio wasn't crystal clear and the conversation wasn't the main focus of the video, but a Georgian journalist managed to catch what they were saying. When Morab asked Ilia how everything was going, especially the weight cut, Ilia gave an answer that made fans worry. Let's go over what he said. "How are things going, Ilia?" Morab asked casually. Ilia replied, "Oh, I've been better. A lot better. Trust me, I've been a hell of a lot better than this. Compared to now, even my worst days used to feel decent." That hit hard. This was supposed to be Ilia Topuria's big move up to lightweight. Everyone thought this transition would be easier for him. Less cutting, more strength, better performance. Even Ilia had said before that he would feel more comfortable at 155 pounds and wouldn't have to drain himself like he did at featherweight. But now, he's saying it still feels brutal. He's openly admitting that he's cutting a lot of weight. And what's surprising fans the most is how much of it is still water weight. That wasn't supposed to be the case. The whole point of moving up a division was to avoid this suffering. So people are asking, if this move to lightweight was meant to make things easier for him, why does he sound like he's struggling more than ever? Something's clearly off and fans are getting concerned. And then there's Henry Cejudo, always outspoken, always brutally honest. He didn't hold back when it came to Charles Oliveira's game plan against Ilia. Henry criticized Charles hard for always wanting to stand and strike, even though he has world-class grappling skills and a solid wrestling background. Cejudo said it straight. Charles has the tools. He's got the reach, the size, and the strength, but instead of using those gifts to control the fight with wrestling or submissions, he keeps walking into brawls. And against a sniper like Ilia, that's a huge risk. Henry warned that Ilia is going to be looking for that brutal body shot-to-head shot combination, the same one that's hurt so many others. And if Charles chooses to stand and trade for too long, he might not make it to the final bell. Henry believes Ilia will leave the cage with the lightweight title if Charles doesn't mix up his strategy. Now let's not forget, Charles Oliveira is one of the most dangerous submission artists we've ever seen in MMA. He holds the record for most finishes in lightweight history. His jiu-jitsu is on another level, period. But here's the thing most people don't talk about. Ilia has a grappling background too. He comes from Greco-Roman wrestling, and throughout his rise, he's proven that he has excellent takedown defense, great balance, and a tight, smart ground game when needed. Yes, Oliveira's jiu-jitsu might be on another planet, but Ilia isn't helpless on the ground either. He has what it takes to survive. Still, his best path to victory is clearly on the feet, using his power, timing, and precision to create damage. That's the chess game in front of us. A striking sniper versus a submission wizard, two very different styles, but both incredibly dangerous.
Dude, I like this. I like Charles, but sometimes I just gotta question his IQ. He's a
Charles?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Or not even necessarily, yeah, I guess you could say IQ or his tactical fighting. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He's a long guy with longer limbs. He's a taller fighter, but yet he's gonna be here. He's gonna be in that range with a guy like Ilia Topuria who lives there. And you saw what he did to Jai Herbert. The same size as Charles Oliveira, he was able to put him out. He's unpredictable with his sequences of going high-low is very tricky, and he has that groove where he has the right. He's able to generate that right power for a guy that's 5'7". Right. The person that really needs to make that adjustment in that fight, it is Charles Oliveira. Could Charles Oliveira bring it to the clinch, use those clinches, or could he surprise him with those double leg takedowns? Charles Oliveira's takedowns are really good.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.